Well, hello there, everyone. It is Monday, December the 6th in the year 2021. Have you started in the progress of it or completed all your holiday shopping? Okay, go ahead and answer. I'm not hearing you. Yeah, it's for us. We never go, all my life, since I've been married and have children, we never went overboard buying Christmas presents because it's too materialistic. Yes, we do get presents for each other, but not too much, because why should we? It gets away from the meaning of it. The meaning of Christmas is not to buy your children every single thing they want, to give your spouse, your significant other, everything they want and don't want. Just get one or two gifts for people. That's all that's needed. Okay, it's too much materialism, too much consuming, whatever it might be. So anyway, before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about buying real estate, your rental property outside of your area. But before I do, something real quick here. Mud water. In one other video I mentioned mud water, and someone was thinking I was talking about coffee, so I was going to show you this. See up top there, mud water. Got some chai. I don't know if this is going to be backwards to you. It looks backwards to me in the camera. That's chocolate. There's some mushrooms in there and some other stuff in there. Hopefully you can read that because it looks backwards to me. So mud water, I got in the other day, my quarterly shipment. I get the annual plan. It's a little cheaper that way. Save money. So I'm still finishing up my last bag. So I am drinking my cup of mud water. So in a nutshell, how do you buy real estate out of your area? If you don't live in the area, you're looking at a map, you live somewhere where it's expensive. You say, oh, I hear about buying real estate. It's cheaper in the Midwest. Where do I want to buy? Do I want to buy in Texas? Do I want to buy in Nashville, Knoxville, Huntsville, Kansas City, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, Omaha? Where do I buy at? Okay. What you will hear some other YouTubers say is they recommend against it. Buy what you know, buy in the area you know. Okay, but you can do that, but there's stories out there of folks buying where they live at and they make bad deals, stuff's too expensive, they overpay, they don't have positive cash flow, et cetera, et cetera. All depends on where you live at, because we all live in different places. So if you want to pick another area, I'll pick something random. Let's say, St. Louis. St. Louis. I've driven through St. Louis on I-70, I think it is, but I've never been in St. Louis per se, just driving through it. All right, so say I wanted to buy in St. Louis. There's a couple things I could do. One, I could go to realtor.com or Zillow or Redfin and start pulling up real estate. And I could look at houses, see what they're selling for, try to find ones that look like they would make decent rental properties. What do they sell for? I could then call maybe property managers and ask, what's a good neighborhood in St. Louis, to buy in, see what they tell me, the zip code, see what they tell me. I could then maybe come up with a house and maybe call another property manager and say, hey, this house, if I get it, what would it rent for? Just roughly, what are rents in that area? I could call real estate agents and try to find one. I could look online and Google it, try to find a realtor or real estate agent that maybe works more with investors than she does or he does with just the regular homeowner. That way, they specialize with investors. They know what investors are looking for, hopefully, okay? You can do all that, and that's all fine to do. If you make one good contact in there, it could be your property manager, it could be your realtor, it could be somebody you just called, I don't know who, but you make one good contact, that can help you make other good contacts, and you could be off to a successful career in investing in St. Louis, okay? And I've never invested in St. Louis. I'm not telling you to invest in St. Louis. I just picked a city, I think that's kind of in the middle of the country, okay? And I don't own anything in St. Louis. I think I said that. So you can do all that, and that's fine. You can figure out your team by doing that. Now, with that being said, think about all I said. That takes a little bit of time. It takes time to study your market. Because you can't just look at it one day and say, oh yeah, I want to buy, I see the houses. You got to look at it constantly. How are houses coming, how fast do they sell? How fast do they get listed? Look at it daily. Study that market for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. In the 30, 60, 90 days, make your phone calls, look on the internet. So it's a lot of research. You can do all that, and that's fine. Many real estate investors have done the same in some sort of fashion. There's one other thing you can do that you don't hear. I know of one YouTuber that will talk about this, but most YouTubers I've seen talk about real estate investing do not mention this at all. They may tell you to stay away from it even if they mention it. But another suggestion, it's just a suggestion, because I am not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, I am just mazke sharing stories about things I've done in my life, except for my example with St. Louis, because I have never invested in St. Louis. Okay? But something you could look at doing, because I did this, was you could do your due diligence in finding a turnkey operator. What is a turnkey operator? A turnkey operator is someone who finds real estate properties. What they do is they fix it up, get it rent ready, and then they market it to other investors normally. I think some may sell to homeowners too, but they'll market it for investors. Investors buy it. If they're a good turnkey operator, they'll tell you what they suggest you should rent at. Many of them will have property managers that they either work with them or they recommend, and they'll tell you what they charge. They can tell you what taxes will be. Maybe they'll give you a suggestion on who to call for insurance. Okay, but you can go that route, because in theory, if you find a good turnkey operator, you are getting a freshly rehabbed house that is rent ready. Maybe they even find your tenant for you. Because I deal with a turnkey operator that does all this. When we buy a house from this turnkey operator, we get a rehabbed house usually with a tenant in place. And so from day one, there's rent coming in. There's nothing that needs to be done to the house if they do a good job of rehabbing it. Okay? So you can do that. But now if you do that, and I don't know this answer, don't just Google turnkey operators in St. Louis. And my assumption would be, since St. Louis I think is a big city, there will probably be multiple ones located there. I'm not sure of that. But if there are, don't just call the first one up and say, oh yeah, I'll go with him. Call them all up. Ask them questions. Get their websites. Dig around on their website. Ask them if they do a rehab, do they give a warranty? Do they stand behind the work? You know, the turnkey operator I've used, they'll give a 12-month warranty on any work that was done. Not work that wasn't done, but any work that was done. Some turnkey operators, if they find your tenant for you, they might have something like, if they have to, I've seen this somewhere, I can't remember where, if you have to evict your first tenant within the first 6 months, they won't charge you to find another tenant, and some property managers do that, where they won't charge you to get another tenant because the first one didn't work out, and that was them finding that first tenant. Okay, and property managers, some of them will do that. Same thing, because they messed up on doing the background investigation or whatever, or just found a bad tenant. But you can go that route, but I have heard horror stories of bad turnkey operators. Okay, but I have heard good stories about good turnkey operators. I have personally used one turnkey company, and I've been happy with them. What I have found from my experience is that turnkey operators, like the one I used, they do a good rehab. It's not perfect, but it's a good rehab. They'll charge a fair price, but they're charging closer to the retail price, not the investor price. But you're getting some. If you're getting something like that, maybe you're getting it a little bit below retail or right at retail, but you're getting something that's been freshly renovated and rehabbed, so you shouldn't have expenses for a year or 2 or 3. You shouldn't. You may, because a house is a house. Things happen to houses. Okay, so there's 2 different ways of doing it. If you use the turnkey operator, you may not get as good of a positive cash flow as if you do it all yourself. But if you don't have the time to make all those phone calls to realtors, property managers, and try to find the right ones for you, and study the market and find the right zip code, maybe that's an alternative for you, where you do your due diligence to find the right turnkey operator, read the reviews on them, and test them out. Maybe. I'm not telling you to do that. It's just an option for you. Okay? So anyway, something to think about. Well, Maskey's had a busy morning, and Maskey's going to get on with finishing his mud water. The pool water is warming up. It was at 73, progressing towards 74. I've swam in 71 and 72 degree water the past 2 to 3 weeks, so it'll be nice to get in a warmer pool. So y'all stay safe, keep smiling, keep loving life. Maskey is signing out.